I grew up in one of the most economically depressed, underserved, crime-ridden, drug-infested neighborhoods in all of New York City in the 80s, the East New York section of Brooklyn, where we didn't have examples of corporate owners. We didn't have examples of people with high-end jobs or executives. We had working-class families, basically the working poor and the poor all lumped up into one neighborhood. And there were very few examples of people who could even give you an idea that you could be successful financially, other than trying to get a city job or some type of service type of entrepreneur job, meaning like a barbershop or a beauty salon, laundromat, maybe something like that. So we didn't have these positive examples or people to guide us in terms of how to get rich. So we had a lot of people in public housing. We had people who really struggled every single day and didn't really know what to do to change that situation. So as kids we thought maybe we could be an athlete or an entertainer, and nobody really told us the reality of that situation. Even if you're talented, how difficult that is to be successful. We just kind of hoped and prayed that things would change, with no real belief that it could. So we just thought life was about struggling. So for me, it was, to me, miraculous that coming from a beginning like that I could turn things around. So to fast forward 30 years later, and I'm retired and I have $1 million house that's paid for, and to be able to afford a life where I could give my kids the things that I didn't get, that's just truly amazing for me.
And I came of age in the 80s when crack was king. And so those of you who remember East New York in the 80s, it's not what it is now. Now everybody's trying to run to East New York. Never thought I'd see that day. But when I grew up in East New York, it was probably the most underdeveloped, underserved, crime-ridden, drug-infested, horrible place that you could ever be. It was terrible. In the 80s, we had more than 2,000 homicides a year in New York City, and most of them were in East New York, 75th precinct. So I saw it all. And I grew up in a working class family. Now I have a very interesting family history. Let's give you a little brief. Both my parents are from Bangor, Maine. So my grandparents, my grandfather on my mother's side was born in 1890, my grandmother in 1910, and they grew up on a farm. And then they went to Maine. My grandfather following the treaty, being a lumberjack, and they got a job as a porter on a railroad. And my grandmother worked in a shoe factory her whole life. That was the industrial age. My parents wanted a little more for themselves. They didn't see themselves staying in a small town. When my father got out of the army, they settled in New York. And my father had a series of jobs, but they believed in education. Most of us believe, right, that was the post-Depression era. My parents were born during the Depression era, and they believed to get ahead, you had to get a good education so you can get a good job with benefits so you can retire and live happily ever after. And most of us are still trying to live that model, even though we're not in the industrial age anymore. We moved to a technological age, and we're still trying to live like we're in the industrial age. So I knew my parents' model wasn't for me. And like I said, I grew up in East New York, and if you grew up in East New York, there's a couple of paths you can take. My parents didn't play that crime path, and I didn't play that in the end. But you think there's only two ways to get out. You can be either an athlete or an entertainer. So I don't entertain very well, unfortunately. So I said, you know what? I'm going to be an athlete. And I looked in the mirror and I said, I'll never be in the NBA. But I have a gift for football. Yeah. I look like you. So football was good for me. Football was good to me. Like I said, I played college football. And I had a plan. I said I'm going to major in television and radio broadcasting. That's football. I had to be a broadcasting career. I had a plan. But see, somebody failed to tell me how this thing really works. So the elite of the elite play college football. So I felt good about myself. But I thought because I was good, automatically, I'm going to the NFL. There are only 2,500 NFL players and only about 300 get taken a year. Wow. Yeah, I wasn't one of those 300 that year. But I had an opportunity to play professional football overseas. And as I was preparing to go, only black coach I had pulled me to the side. He said, "Go to Italy and play football." So what? I said, "What do you mean, so what? All I've ever wanted to do is play football, because that was going to be my ticket to getting rich." He said, "If you play football in Italy, how's that going to change the world?" I don't know how it's going to change the world. All I want to do is play football. He said, "If you go to Italy and you play football, who's going to teach the children?" Now, never in my wildest imagination thought about being an educator. Until that point, he said, "Who's going to teach the children?" I thought back to when I was in high school. I didn't do well on the SAT. My guidance counselor told me, "Don't bother applying for college because you'll never make it." I said, I need to do something. I need to change the world. I need to go back and look at kids like me and let them know that they can make it. I didn't do well in school, but I'm pretty sharp. People want me to say, I got a little brain. But school wasn't designed for me. School was designed to put you into the industrial age. So I went back to school and I got a master's degree in education. And in 1989, I started teaching in the Department of Education. And I said, I'm going to teach the kids that nobody wants. They call them severely emotionally disturbed. And I went back to East New York to teach, my old neighborhood. And I did that. I was excited about it, the kids liked it, the school liked it, and after 4 years, it took me out of the classroom, made me a dean. I was on the fast track, doing my thing, but the Department of Education made a mistake. It's to pay me for the summers to be home. And I can't stay home, I was traveling. Every year, traveling, going somewhere. And I enjoy traveling. How many of you enjoy traveling? How many of you would enjoy staying home and get paid? Okay, you can see how I got addicted to that life. So I made a decision. After 13 years on the job, I'd had enough. Because see, I had reached the middle class dream. I had the wife and kids, I had the house, had the car, but I had deep debt, high taxes, and I wasn't in charge of my own time. And see, what people don't understand, making money is about getting your time back. It's about getting your time back. See, my children were young, and my wife and I decided that we were going to participate in everything they did. School events, we were going to be there. Athletic endeavors, we were going to be there. Dance recitals, whatever, we're going to be there. We decided we weren't going to let somebody else raise our children out of necessity. Right? That's what we do. Somebody else raised your child because you feel you have to work. No, we said we're not going to do that. So I made a decision, year 13, because I just got off a plane from Gambia, West Africa. And I was sitting in a staff meeting, and the principal was talking, and this voice in my head was talking to me. He said, "Why are you still here?" And I couldn't come up with a sufficient answer. I couldn't answer why I was still there. I felt that I had given back. 13 years is a lot of time to give back. I felt that I did everything that I could do there, but I wasn't doing for me and I wasn't doing for my family. And so the voice kept asking me, "Why are you still here?" And since I couldn't answer it, I just had to say, you know what, I'm going to quit my job. So I walked up to my boss. I wasn't totally crazy. That was 13 years. 15 years you can vest out with a partial pension, but I can't collect until 55. Almost there, y'all. And I told my boss, I said, "You got 2 years to find somebody to replace me." And I walked around my job, and I told everybody on my job, I said, "In 2 years, I'm leaving my job." They said, "Why would you do that? You got tenure." You know what tenure means? You can put your feet up and they can't fire you. They said, "You got a good salary, you got tenure, you're crazy." I said, "You crazy. I'm quitting the job in 2 years." And I came home, and I told my wife, I said, "Babe," I said, 2 years, I'm quitting my job." She went off. And I calmly stood there until she finished. And I said, "Well, we got some tents in the basement. Either we're going to make it or we're going to live in them tents." And I turned to walk away. And decision I was going to quit my job. So I had to figure out how I was going to leave my job. Because you can't just leave a job. Because I'm like y'all, right? You all want to be successful. Because I had to figure out how to replace the income. Because I really didn't want to live in them tents. So I had given myself 2 years. And what I found, the contact information for all these wealth gurus at the time. And what I did was I crafted 5 questions about making money and asked for any additional advice they might have. And I emailed it out. How much did that cost you? Zero. Exactly. It cost me nothing. So I emailed it out. Believe it or not, I got some emails back. And there was a consistency in the answers. So they said you had to be a business owner, not self-employed. So I said, ding, got it. Then they said you had to invest in securities. I was like, securities? What the heck is that? Stocks, bonds, mutual funds, stuff like that. And they said you had to own real estate. So I said, okay, I got to do these things. I said, but which one of these things is the most difficult? In my mind, real estate was the most difficult because I thought you had to have a lot of money, thought you had to have good credit, thought you had to have a job. So I had the job, but my credit was bad and I didn't have any money. So I said, I'm going to push that to last, but I'm not going to do it after the 2 years when I leave. I'm going to do it and try to get my stuff together. And I said, I'm going to invest in securities and I'm going to start a business. Now, when I decided to start a business, I did like most of you. I said, what's my passion? You ever been there? What's my passion? Because somebody told you wrong. Somebody said, just do your passion and you make money. Lies. You make money so you can do your passion. Got it backwards. Nobody wants your stuff. Oh, I make earrings. Nobody cares. Nobody cares. Your friends ain't going to be honest with you. I'm going to be honest with you. Nobody likes your stuff. You're not going to pay for it. But I was like you. I'm an artist. So I was doing portraits of people, and I was carving wood, and I was doing all this stuff, and nobody wanted it. I got a house full of that stuff. And I said, okay, I got a better idea. I said, my wife was home taking care of my kids. I had 3 kids, and they were all young at the time. I said, we should do a home daycare. So, why are you laughing? That sounds like a good idea to me. Woo, that didn't last long. Yeah, I wasn't thinking that's a whole lot of extra work for her. It just seemed like a good idea. She's home, take care of kids. What's more kids? That didn't work. So I said, okay, I know what I'm going to do. I'm a martial law. I'm a good martial law. So I said, you know what? I'm going to start a martial law school. That's what I'm going to do. Teach you how to punch and kick. And I'm going to show these people how good I am. I have an open house. So I had a whole bunch of people there, and I was demonstrating how I could sweep anybody off their feet. Anybody line up, I could sweep you off their feet. So I was lining them up, sweeping, boom, boom, all that down. So the guy was there with his family, and he said, you ain't taking me down. His leg went, pop. Oh, when he went down, everybody got up and left. Terrible rumor went around the city that don't train with Heru, he breaks people's legs with him. They didn't even break. They just sprained. They sprained bad. So that wasn't going well. So a whole year passed and nothing good is happening for me. So I'm starting to worry a little bit. Like, uh-oh, that little voice in my head is talking now. So I'm trying to figure this thing out. I'm on an academic calendar, so I got like, to me, from September to June now to make this thing happen. So that September, my oldest child was in private school, and they had a PTA meeting where you had to introduce yourself to the person next to you. That person had to introduce you to the group. And the guy sat next to me, he said he was a real estate investor. Well, I got excited. I said, I'm a real estate investor. So he said he didn't know money down deals. Well, I didn't have any money, so that was perfect. I said, brother? I said, will you work with me? He said, are you serious? I said, yeah, I'm serious. He said, okay, give me a call, and I'll start working with you. I was excited. I was calling him, and he was taking me around. He was like, you should buy this, you should buy this. I was looking with my nose turned up, like, I wouldn't want to live there. See, I wasn't thinking like an investor. I was thinking like a home buyer. So this went on for a couple of weeks, and he's getting frustrated. He called me one day, and he said, Heru, you need to start thinking like an investor. I was highly insulted, because I had read all the books. I said, no, brother. You need to start thinking like an investor. He said, you know what? He said, I'm going to give you a call next time I have something for you. And I've never heard from him again.
Oh.
Ouch. Valuable lesson. Shut your mouth. Listen to the people who are doing it. Not the people who are talking about it. Not the people who did it 20 years ago. The people who are doing it. Listen to the people who are doing it right now.
Yeah.
Took that lesson. Then things went really bad for me. That October, my mother got diagnosed with stage 4 breast cancer and had metastasized all over her body. Nothing they could do to stop it. She was on her way out. Spent every day with my mother from October till the last day of November when she passed away. That was a rough time. But the next week, something kind of miraculous, I see it miraculous, happened. I was in the print shop, getting the programs made up for the funeral. There was a guy in there cursing the printer out, calling him every kind of name you can imagine. How dare you mess up my business card? I got 5 closings next week. I said, closings? He must be a real estate investor. So I interrupted his tirade. I said, I'd like to work with you. He said, you serious? Yeah, I'm serious. He said, all right, if you're serious, you check out these properties. This was on Wednesday, the funeral was that Friday. He said, you check out these properties and get back to me by Monday. He wrote down the addresses of a bunch of properties on the back, and I could have made an excuse. I could have said, no, I can't do it in the morning. I could have said, no, now is not a good time. But something inside me said, don't make an excuse, make it happen. And so I took his business card, and it snowed that weekend. That Friday was the funeral, it started snowing. First week in December, and unbelievable, it started snowing. But I went out in the snow. I made no excuse, I went out in the snow, and I checked out the properties. Got home around 4 o'clock that Monday, and I gave him a call. And I had learned enough to realize those properties were terrible. And I gave him a detailed analysis of the properties, and he was impressed. He said, you need to get down to my office right now and meet my partner. But you got to get here before 5 o'clock. Now, those are the minivan days. Everybody remember when everybody had a minivan? Right, so our rule in our house was whoever got the kids got the minivan. You know, we had the kids and had minivans. But I made no excuse. I ran out the street, I caught a cab. It's rush hour. I'm yelling at the cab driver, wait for money. Big tip, get you there by 5 o'clock. Money talks. He got me there before 5 o'clock. And he comes in, he talks to me and introduces me to his partner. His partner was a real estate attorney, real estate broker. So he wasn't really feeling me, but the other guy said, well, actually, this is his office. I have an office further downtown. You come by my office and you can work with me. So every day I was shooting down in his office and I was watching these guys and I could not believe what I was seeing. These guys were doing multi-million-dollar deals. They were doing big deals. Not like the other guy. The other guy was cool, but he was doing little deals. These guys were working on big deals and they were in the game. So I would come to the guy and I was like, hey man, when you gonna let me in on these big deals? He said, you ain't ready yet. I was like, all right. A couple weeks later, hey, when you gonna let me in on these big deals? You ain't ready yet. So he was making me pay my dues. So eventually I go up to him and say, hey man, no more forfeit. When you gonna let me in on these big deals? He said, you ready? I said, yeah, I'm ready. He said, can you get $50,000 by Friday? I looked him straight in his eyes. I said, yeah. I can get $50,000 by Friday. Now, I didn't know how I was going to get $50,000 by Friday. This was Monday and Friday, like $50,000. I never had $50,000 in my life. But what these guys were doing, I know y'all all heard of this guy, Donald Trump. This is before Donald Trump. President Donald Trump was a developer back then. And he was building the Heritage Building on 72nd Street in Manhattan. And these guys were buying up pre-construction O-line. I think I don't remember the line. It's the O-line facing the city. I remember that. And they were buying up units, pre-construction, for about $1.1 million and flip at $1.75, $1.8 million after construction. And they were pooling money to get the down payments to do it. It was a fantastic deal. I said, if I can get on this deal, I can quit my job. So I said, can you get $50,000 by Friday? Yeah, I get $50,000 by Friday. So I went home and I said, how in the world am I going to get $50,000 by Friday? So I had to get resourceful. Now I told you, they said you had to invest in securities. So I had found this mutual fund that I had just forgot about. I put money in it regularly, and it was an aggressive fund. Now don't choose it like I chose it. I said, it's aggressive, I'm aggressive, sound like a good fit for me. We don't do it like that anymore. But this thing paid off. I had got it at $7 a share, and it was teetering between $19 and $21 a share. I had over 1,000 shares. Do the math. So I said, I need this thing to be $20 a share, and I'll redeem 1,000 shares. So I called Monday, it's only $1,000. I mean, only 19. Tuesday, 19. Wednesday, it's $20 a share, it's $20,000. Now, something else interesting happened, because you guys are not going to think about my martial arts school. Kind of worked out. See, there was I had a contract with a bail bondsman to train his bounty hunters. And I was training his bounty hunters, and after I finished training his bounty hunters, he said, you know, New York is changing the rules about being a bounty hunter. You can no longer be a bounty hunter, they have to be called bail enforcement agents now. Because they were going wild with bounty hunters. But now they'll be certified as bail enforcement agents. They have to take a course on the rights of a fugitive, and then they get certified. But the state doesn't provide the course, they need service providers to do it. He said, oh, you should do that. I said, well, what does it take? So I contacted the Department of State and said, put together a 21-hour course, it was 21 hours, on the rights of a fugitive. So I went straight to Barnes & Nobles. Bought a bunch of books on the law. I was an educator, I knew how to put a course together. Put the course together. Now the good thing was, I didn't have to teach it. Any certified teacher or attorney can teach the course. So I hired an attorney to teach the course. I wasn't going to do it myself. And it only cost $25 to do it. $25 and you submit your thing. Now, let me tell you this, there was only one other person in New York City at the time doing it. They were located in the Bronx. I was the first one in Brooklyn to train bail enforcement agents, to have a school for it. And I was the only school whose school was certified by the Bail Enforcement Agents Association.
Yeah, nice.
You're like, ooh. Ooh. You know, wait. I created the Bail Enforcement Agents Association. But nobody had to know that. So I put it on all my marketing. The only school certified by the Bail Enforcement Agents. Because there was no other association. So I did that, and I had $10,000 I made from that. So I had $30,000. I had $30,000 that I had earned, right? So I had 3 days, $30,000, got 2 days to get $50,000, to me $20,000 more for the 50. So I said, you know what? I don't know if I can do this on my own. I'm going to have to borrow this money. So I started thinking, who in the world has $20,000? Now my father, great man, may he rest in peace. I went to my father, I said, Dad, I got this great opportunity. Trump, trying to throw that in there as credibility. He said, boy, you know what that is. Boy, how you know it's not a scam? I said, well, I don't think it's a scam because I went to the building next to it and they had this sales model, this floor model, and they gave me a prospectus, they gave me all this stuff. I don't think they're going to do that for my $50,000. Boy, I don't know. I'm like, Dad, opportunity. So I started raising the interest rate on the loan. He's like, I don't know. Start raising the interest rate on the loan. He said, boy, see, that's when you know it's good. So the boy changed, boy. At that interest rate, I'd be a fool not to lend you money. I'll lend you $10,000. I said, I'll take it. So then I was thinking, where in the world am I going to get $10,000? My oldest sister looks just like my dad. So I called her up and I said, Dad, because you know Dad don't lend money. Donald Trump, Dad, Donald Trump. She said, how do you know it's not a scam? So I go over the whole situation with her, and she says, you know what? Let me think about it, and I'll call you back. So I'm sitting home with pins and needles, and I get the call back. It's my sister. She said, I'll lend you $10,000 when I give my income tax check. Yeah, so I said, I can't wait till you get your income tax check. I need that money by tomorrow. She said, well, if you need it by tomorrow, it's probably a scam. Hung up the phone. My big break. Sitting home, moping around. Now, if you know me, you know I don't mope around. I'm a happy-go-lucky kind of guy. So I'm moping around. My wife's like, what's wrong? You know how I do. Nothing. But she knows something wrong. What's wrong? Nothing. See, I didn't want to tell her I'm about to put all my life savings on this one big deal when I already told her I'm quitting my job. But I had to tell her. Told her the story. She was very supportive. Oh, that's important. So you never got the wrong people around you.
Yes.
She got over the initial shock, and then it was about support.
Yeah.
So she supported it. She said, well, who'd you ask? And I told her. She said, well, you didn't ask my mother for the money. I said, I can't ask your mother for money. But you can. And her mother was gracious enough to lend me the $10,000.
Oh.
I never talk about my mother-in-laws anymore. And the rest is kind of history. For me, I got in on that that deal, but the thing was I gained credibility, and so they started letting me in on all the deals. And then the doors started opening up. And what was good, again, about support, after I got in on the deals and they saw I was serious about what I was doing, I told them I want to start this company called Inside School. I said, what's that? I had this meeting, and you know, Night of the Cookers? We used to be on Fulton Street.
Yeah.
I took them out to the meal. I sat them down. I had all these handouts. You know, we're going to start this business called Insiders Group because I want to reach back and I want to help people just like me get ahead. They said, no. You start Insiders Group. They said, we got ours. You start Insiders Group and we'll support you in whatever you do. And that's how Insiders Group got to start. So from there, I became what I call a serial entrepreneur. Augustine told you we've done millions of dollars worth of real estate transactions over the years. I had a business in the Gambia, West Africa, selling clothes and electronics. I actually have oil rights there, believe it or not. It's kind of crazy. I don't know what to do with it yet, but had martial arts school was really strong. I don't break anybody's legs. I don't break people's legs in class. Been part of a real estate brokerage. Had the #1 hospital in New York, Crown Brownstone. Had 4 locations, 3 in Brooklyn, 1 in Harlem. I mean, you name it, done it. See, I don't get emotionally attached to a business.